where do we want the figure placed on our page? So we're going to make a mark at the height of the drawing. We're going to create a mark at the base of the drawing. And then we're going to find the center point, which is right about here. You can use your pencil to mark that center point to make sure that you have your center point in the right area. Okay, so then we are going to use our plumb line. This is a plumb line. It's made with a string and a fishing weight at the bottom of the hook. We're going to find the center point. I'm now finding the center point of my model. Once I find the center point, I'm going to check the width. What is the width of my model? So I'm going to look at the outermost left-hand side of the model and the right-hand side. And I'm going to move my plumb line to the center. And then I'm going to see what is the width in relationship to the height. And looking at my model, the width is just about 1/3 of the height. So I'm going to find that 1/3 point. 1, 2, 3. It was just under 1/3. 1, 2, 3. And then I have that 1/3 point, and I'm going to mark, go from my center point out and mark that measurement. So this would be the widest point. Make sure that these points are equal to one another. Once again, 1, 2, up. Got a little bit wide there. I'm going to bring it in a little. One, 2, still a little wide. Bring it in to here. Okay, so we've got the width of our drawing. Now I know I'm looking at my model, and the widest point on the left is the model's right foot that's crossing her knees. And then the furthest to the right is her shoulder. So I'm going to mark these points on my drawing. Now when you're marking your drawing, you can start to use the vine charcoal, because your vine charcoal is very easy to erase. So I'm going to go in. I made these marks with my charcoal pencil. Okay, so we know that this is a seated figure, but in a figure that is standing, we know that the figure is roughly 7.5 heads. You can go 7 or 8 heads tall. So I'm going to use my pencil, and I'm going to measure with my arm extended how many heads in this seated figure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in the seated figure, there are 6 heads. So I'm going to break the top portion of my drawing and the bottom into thirds. So I'll put 3 heads. So these are going to be key measurements. And I'll do it once again, do it with your vine charcoal. And this is just setting up the drawing. 1, 2, about 3. So we know that this top third is the model's head. When looking at my seated model, I know that one head down from the chin, this is the chin, comes along the breast line. And then if I go down one head further, I'm right at the hip line. So right here is where the model's hips are in the seated figure. So I'm starting to figure out the gesture. I'm putting in these key marks, the chin. Now if I were to once again, and then I'm going to do break the bottom half of the drawing into thirds as well. Okay, so I have all my measurements. The hips hit right in here. So using my plumb line, I'm going to put key markers in this drawing. So I'm holding my plumb line up while I look at my model to find the center of the drawing once again, the center point. And I notice that at the center of the drawing is the top of the knee. Okay, so my seated figure, the hips are right about at this point, and coming up from that is the knee. So this is the center of the drawing, is the top of the knee, and right now I'm getting the gesture in. And this connects to the boot. And I'm checking my angle. The angle of the knee heads back toward the hips at this angle. So right now I'm putting in angles. And then the knee connecting to the boot. So I'm capturing right now just the gesture. Now if I hold my plumb line, this shadow side, if I go 1/4 of the drawing, the shadow side of the top of the model's head is right at the quarter point. So if I were to draw a center line for my drawing area, this is my center line. The shadow area of the head is right at the corner point. So if this is the chin and the top of the head is here, I can very lightly sketch in, considering the placement of the head. This would be the back of the head. My model has long hair, so I'll allow the hair to come down. Let's say the top of the head is right about here. Keep in mind the shoulder is at this point.